What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, all right, we're going back to Type O-Negative. Yes, indeed, Type O-Negative fans feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bibbidi-bob, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Hamish Alexander and Living in Blackness with a Q, B-L-A-Q-N-E-S-S. And I don't get it, but I guess I'm trying to be edgy. So anyway, Hamish Alexander and Living in Blackness both want to see me react to this. It is Type O-Negative with a live performance. That is very key. I'll explain more in a little bit. A live performance of the song Black Number 1.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Now, have I heard the song before? Full disclosure, yes. Yes, I have. I'm willing to bet that this is the biggest hit that Type O-Negative has had. This is definitely one of the top 3 most played songs by Type O-Negative. It's one of the few songs by Type O-Negative that got any radio play. I believe they made a music video for it. If I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive they did. And it's one of the most heavily requested songs whenever they used to play live. This is one of the songs that everybody wanted to hear them play. So yes, I am very familiar with the song, both the cut, edited, shortened radio version and the actual full 9-minute length version of the song. Having said that, since I am familiar with the song, I can't take the song itself into account here. I'm going to be basing my reaction, my evaluation, and my score completely on the live performance. I need everybody to remember that. The live performance, the visual aspect, stage presence, stage energy, stage interaction, crowd interaction, showmanship, production. I'm going to be looking for these 6 things in particular. I will take how well they play the song into account slightly, very slightly, maybe 2% of the score. The other 98% is going to be based on the visual. So please keep that in mind. This was posted by Rodrigo Bastos, okay? And the video has 160,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Type O-Negative, Black Number 1, live. Folks, I can't express enough how important this is. Understand, I know the song. I love the song. I love the album version, the full 9-minute version of the song, way more than I like the radio version, but I don't know what version of this song we're going to do. Now, it does say 907, so there's a possibility we may get a live performance of the actual album recording version, which I'm really hoping we get. But for the most part, it's going to be based on the visual, guys. Please keep that in mind before you go in the comments and go, this is one of the greatest songs they ever wrote. I agree with you. Before we even start the video, I agree with you. I think this is one of the greatest songs that Type O-Negative ever wrote. In all honesty, between this and Christian Woman, I don't know which one I would say is their opus. One of the two. But I can't take the song into account, guys. As much as I would like to, I can't. So please keep that in mind. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
This is block number one.
Wow, they're playing it a lot faster.
She's loving herself. She likes the dark. But on her midwife neck, the devil's mark. Oh, it's all hollow deal. The moon is full. Oh, she trickle trees.
I like that variance.
I wish you will. He's got a day on midnight. Windows for a two. I'm gonna live that hotel. When I will be with you. Oh, when I'm a hero, she does that. I guess I'm smiling. We swear that.
Yeah, you wanna go out, but you're ready to run. You can't go out, but you're built to sun. You die black. You die black. Run, 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 run,
Come on, drum tech, get that mic in there.
run, 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 run,
We're closing our eyes. I don't want to feel wrong. Watching us. The perfume smells like burning hills. Every day is Halloween.
Okay, let's pause. I gotta pause, guys. I have to. I'm trying to do everything I can to avoid copyright issues, so I gotta pause. As much as I don't want to. If it were up to me, I would let this just go all the way through. You all can thank YouTube for that. Yep. You all can thank them for that. And of course the copyright owners, where the copyright owners of this song is, I have no idea. I love this song. I really do. I love the song. I love the energy that they are producing through the music with this song, and their performance of this song. I love the energy that the music itself is creating. They're playing it at a much faster tempo than they're on the studio recording. It gives it a new life. It gives it a new energy, and I like it. Don't get me wrong, though. Don't get me wrong, though. I still prefer the album version better. Because the song really should be done slower. It really should be. And I do like it at the original tempo more than this. But this is nice. It's a nice change up. It's a nice switch up. You know what I mean? it's a nice little bit of variety. And I had no issue with it. I got no problem with it. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, like I stated though, the song itself has zero bearing on this reaction, evaluation, and score and review. Visually, I hate to say it, guys, but as it stands right now, it's lacking. It's lacking. I see the drummer back there rocking out. I see that. I see the keyboard player getting into it too. And unfortunately, that's all I see. Peter's kind of a slave to the mic on this song. He really is. So I'm not really expecting Peter to move around a whole lot. I hope he does. I really do. I hope he comes out and interacts with the crowd at some point. It doesn't have to be for a long time. It just do enough that I can give it the check mark. That's all I'm asking for. Same thing with the guitar player. If anybody in the band, as the band is right now, if anybody in the band has an opportunity, a chance to interact with the crowd, it's the guitar player. He probably has the most freedom to do so. So I really hope I see some crowd interaction. I would love to see some stage interaction. I don't know who's going to interact with who, but I would love to see some. Hopefully we do. Stage presence is taken care of. That's been taken care of. Stage energy. God, I want to give it a check so bad. I really do. But I don't know if I can. The drummer's back there. Yes, he's rocking out. And I've seen the keyboard player rocking out, but they're both, unfortunately, slaves to their instruments, and they really can't move around. They're moving their body, their upper body, yes, but their feet, they're not moving around the stage whatsoever because they can't. Like I said, this is going to go back to the guitar player. It's really going to come down to him more than anybody else. So, as it stands right now, guys, I hate to say this, but we're not doing great right now. We're not. I hesitate to even say we're doing good. Hopefully, within the next 5 minutes, within the next 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes, hopefully we can get more check boxes checked. I'm really hoping we can. This would be a great time to interact with the crowd. Get the crowd to sing. Hey! I'll take it. I'll take it. Hey! All right. We're not doing the radio edit.
was like loving love. Was like fucking on you.
Loving you was like loving the dead. Loving you was like loving the dead. Loving you was like loving the dead. Like loving the dead. Loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you. Like loving the dead. Like loving the dead. Like loving the dead.
Two things. One, we had crowd interaction. It was short. It was brief. It was literally him, Peter Steele, getting on the mic and saying, Dublin. That's all he had to say. But it got the crowd to sing along. That, I know, listen, I know it's a stretch. All right? I get it. It is a bit of a stretch. But by definition, that is crowd interaction. I will take it and I will check the box. It's a weak check, but it's still a check. I'll take it. That's number one. Number two, glad to see they're not doing the radio edit. I'm thrilled to see that they're taking the time to play the full version of the song. Now, there's pluses and minuses there. The pluses, they're giving the diehard fans, the fans who actually buy the albums, listen to the albums, and enjoy the albums. They're giving those diehard ride or die fans what they want. They want the full version. Okay, I can guarantee you. I know I would if I could go back in time and see Type O-Negative play live, and I heard on the set list that there was going to be Black number 1. I would be one of the ones sitting there and hoping that they're going to do the full version. Okay, that's the plus. On the minus side, it is a longer song. It's a 9-minute long song about. And unfortunately, that is going to take away the ability to play just that one song rather than do the radio edit, which is about 5 minutes, and then maybe do a 4-minute song and it may get another song in the set list. It's a trade-off. Which way do you go? Is either option right or wrong? No, it really depends on you as the band, what you feel is more important to give to the fans. Do you want to give the fans 2 songs, or would you rather give the crowd one song that is a full cut, not a radio edit? That is a tough call. And I've been in bands where we've had that situation happen. And there's no right or wrong answer. There really isn't. It comes down to what you want to give the fans. What kind of fans do you think are going to be in your crowd? Are they going to be, fly-by-nighters, drive-by fans who are only there because they heard a hit of yours on the radio? Or are your fans that are there in that crowd deep-cut fans, ride-or-die fans, the fans that know every single song off every single album by heart? You kind of have to gauge, what you're going to be playing to. And I will absolutely tip the cap to Type O-Negative for choosing to do the full cut as opposed to the radio cut. So I absolutely tip the cap to them for making that choice in this situation. Anyway, okay, we got the big one. We got crowd interaction. Like I said, it's a weak check, but it is a check. Let's see if we can get some more check marks. is it with these glitches? Come on, guys, it's not too late. Let's get one more check mark. Let's get stage interaction. Peter, go over and interact with the guitar player. We're going into a song. Oh, we ended with the 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Okay, all right. It's a solid ending. Oh, I want to give this a good score because I loved this. I loved hearing this, but this is, man. Oh. This is going to be one of those situations where my hands are kind of tied. As much as I want to give this a great score, I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. I'm going to do my best, folks. Look, I dug this. I personally dug this. But I don't know how much of that is going to translate from an objective point of view to a good score. I don't know. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Type O-Negative with a live performance. Keep that in mind. A live performance of their song Black Number 1. This was a request from Hamish Alexander and Living in Blackness with a Q instead of a CK on that blackness. Yeah, BLAQNESS. Okay, before I give my score, I really need to make this clear. I know this song. I've known this song for a long time. I love this song. The first time I heard this song, this is one of the songs that kind of hooked me onto Type O-Negative. The first time I heard the song, I was intrigued. Now, here's the funny thing. The first time I heard the song, it was the radio edit. I heard the radio edit, but I bought the album and I listened to the album version. And folks, I'm not gonna lie to you. The first time I heard the album version, I hated it. I was like, the middle section. You know the middle section I'm talking about. I just kind of felt like it was filler. It wasn't really necessary. It was like, why is this in there? I see now why the radio edit took it out. But as I listened to it more and more, and I listened to the song more and more, the album cut more and more, and then I heard the radio cut, and I was like, you know what? That middle section is, never thought I'd say this, it's needed. It's because without it, it sounds kind of hollow. It does. It sounds kind of, I don't want to say pointless, but it loses a lot of its character from the translation from the full album version to the radio edit. And it left the radio edit sounding thin. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I like the album. And the more I listened to it on the album version, the more I liked it. Now it's one of my favorite songs by Type O-Negative. And like I said, as far as people talk about, every band has an opus, right? I'm kind of torn between Black Number 1 and the album version, the full version of Christian Woman. between those two songs, I feel like the opus belongs. Honestly, I would give the opus title to both songs, but you know, which one is going to be their true opus? It depends on the day, honestly. Anyway, anyway, long story short, have I heard the song before? Yes. So unfortunately, and this is, I really don't want to do this, but unfortunately, folks, my hands are tied. As a result of me knowing this song, I can't take the song into account as much as I would love to. And even the live performance of the song, like how well they played the song, I do take it into account, but it's very, very small. It might help the score or hurt the score by 0.1, possibly 0.2, but it's very, very little, guys. So don't get your hopes up on that. But I'm basing this score completely on the live performance. I'm talking about stage presence, stage interaction, stage presence, stage energy, stage interaction, crowd interaction, showmanship, and production. And folks, I hate to say it, but that list of that and that what the amount that we saw of all 5 of those things, it's thin. It's thin. Now the good news is, and I'm gonna put some asterisks on these, but the good news is we did hit 4 out of the 6. So we're not in the negatives, okay? I want to be very clear on that. We're not in the negatives. We're gonna be okay, I promise. Let's start off with the score and you'll see what I mean. On a scale of 1 to 10, it is a positive score, okay? I'm gonna give that a 5.7. Yeah, 5.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. First things first, a 5.7. What does that mean? Well, a 5.7 would translate to an okay scale rating. So I think their live performance was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. It was okay. All right. It was average. You'll see what I mean by that in a second. It would so it gets an okay scale rating. It would get 3 out of 5 stars, and it would get a C+ letter grade. Okay. So there you go. A 5.7 equals an okay scale rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a C+ letter grade. Remember, I know people are now going, a 5.7, that's a 57 percentile. That's an F. Yeah, according to grade school, because once you get to under 60%, it doesn't matter anymore. Everything's an F under 60%. See, I use the entire scale. I go all the way down to 0. So a 5.0, that's midline, okay? So a C+ letter grade. Yeah, and I absolutely stand by that. So yeah, 5.7, okay scale rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a C+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with this score? This is where things get interesting. So glad you asked. Okay, remember, song, non-factor. Let's go down the checklist here, okay? Stage presence, check. They made their presence known. They were sitting out there looking like rock stars. They were not looking like roadies. You could tell they belonged up on that stage, and they made their presence known right from the get-go. So that's definitely stage presence. Stage energy. Believe it or not, I am going to give that a check mark. Granted, they didn't move around a whole lot, but at least they were moving around. In particular, the drummer. Now, I know people are going, but the drummer has to sit behind the drums. Yes, he's sitting behind the drums, but his upper body was very animated. Now, I'm not just talking about his arms. I'm talking about his entire body. He was really putting his upper body into everything. He wasn't sitting there. He wasn't doing that. He was moving, he was rocking out, getting his shoulders into it, getting his upper body into it, his whole body into it as much as he could. So that is energy. Also, the keyboard player moving around as much as he could, swaying around as much as he could, ducking down, squatting down, coming back up. He's moving around as much as he can. I will give him credit for that. The guitar player also I did see moving around. Now he didn't move around a lot, and most of his motion honestly was very Y-axis oriented. He was moving forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. But at least he was moving around and taking more than 2 or 3 steps, so I will give it to him. Peter unfortunately didn't move around a whole lot. I wish he had, but he's the lead vocalist. He's got to kind of stay near his mic, so I get it. But I am going to give it a check, okay? It's a little bit, I'm not going to lie though, it is a weak check. And I'm not going to lie, I had to stretch a little bit, but I am going to give it to him, okay? So stage energy, check. Stage interaction, as much as I want to give that a check, I can't. There was none. There was no interaction. It never did anybody in the band come over and interact. And there were opportunities. During the guitar solo, Peter could, because there were no vocals happening for a while, Peter could have walked over to the guitar player and interacted with him. There were a number of times where the guitar player really wasn't doing a whole lot, and he could have moved around. He could have gone over and interacted with Peter. He could have gone back and interacted with the keyboardist. He could have even gone back and interacted with the drummer, but I never saw any actual interaction. So unfortunately, that check mark gets a 0. So nothing there. Crowd interaction. Oh boy. I am going to give it the check. I am going to give it a check, but it is a weak check. All he did was say, Dublin. And he got them to say, and he pointed, Dublin. And he came right back to playing again. It was less than a second. But it was effective. It did work, because when he gave that cue, you heard the crowd clear as day start to sing along. It did work. It was effective. It did get the crowd going based off of his interaction, because there was a significant surge in the volume of the crowd when he did that. So I am going to give it a check, but it is a weak check because he only did it once. But I'm still going to give it to him. Like I said, folks, I know I'm stretching. Deal with it. Showmanship. I am going to give it a check, and I'm going to point the finger directly at the keyboard player and the drummer, mostly due to those two. Every time they did something, the camera was on them and it caught it, and it looked good. It did bring attention to them. It did put the spotlight on them when they would do whatever it is that they were doing. I will give it the check. Again, I think it could have been more, especially from the guitar player, since he seems to have the most freedom. But I am going to give it a check nonetheless, but once again, a weak check. Production. No, not really. Look, they're outdoors. You know, they had the video screens. I guess we could count that, but that's a weak check. I don't even know if I feel like counting that, but I mean, they're outdoors in the middle of the daytime. It's not like they're going to have a whole lot of lights and smoke. I mean, they could have had smoke. I guess that would have been nice. Cryo, pyro, something, anything. But again, if you're not the headliner, if you are not the main event, you really don't have a whole lot to say. You're kind of at the mercy of what the festival provides you. Now, if you're the headliner, you're the main event, you're the whole reason that everybody's there, then obviously they get a lot more leeway. You know, they do, and that's fine. But Type O-Negative's not the headliner here. They're playing in the middle of the day, so they're probably like the 5th or 6th act on during the case. I'm willing to bet they probably played somewhere around 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, somewhere in there. Not the opening act, but not the headliner either. So unfortunately, production, they have video screens. All right, fine, I'll give them the check. Fine. I know, again, I'm reaching, but I'll give it to them. So out of possible 6, they got 5. 1 strong check and 4 weak check marks. Are they check marks? Yes, but they're weak. So that's how I'm coming up with the score of 5.7. I am thrilled on a personal level. I enjoyed this. I loved this. I loved hearing the song at a faster tempo. It was different. Now, personally, I prefer the slower tempo. I do. For this song, I feel like the slower tempo is warranted and it's kind of needed. But it was nice hearing a different take and hearing a little bit of a faster tempo. It was different. It was interesting. I'll absolutely give it that. I think they played the song well. Sure, absolutely. And in closing, I am so glad that they made the choice to play the album version of the song as opposed to the radio edit. I'm not a fan of the radio edit. I get it. I understand. You want to have radio play. You have a song that's 8.5 to 9 minutes long. What are you going to do? No radio station is going to play that song. I'm sorry. They're not. So there has to be a radio edit. Something that's going to give them, the ability to have that song go on the radio and get some airplay. So I get it. I'm just not a fan of the radio cut. I love the actual album cut. I'm so glad. And like I said during the reaction, they have a choice. They can play the radio version. They can play the radio cut in a live setting, and by doing so, might open up time to add another song to the set. That is very possible. But you have to kind of look at your crowd and you ask yourself, the crowd we're going to be playing for, are they going to be fly-by-nighters? Are they going to be passerbyers who just happen to know the radio version and that's it? Or do we have a lot of people in the crowd who are die-hard, ride-or-die type O-Negative fans who love the studio version? And then you got to kind of play to your audience, and they made the choice to play the long album version, and I applaud that. I absolutely applaud that. So this is how, taking everything into account, I'm coming up with a 5.7. So it's an okay score. I wish I could give it a higher score, guys. I do. Personally, I would love to put this up in the 7s. I would, because I thought it was a really good performance of one of their best songs. But unfortunately, like I said, I can't take the song into account, and I can only take the live execution of the song a very small amount in the score. Now, did it affect the score? It did. And it did help in a positive way. I'm not going to say how much. Maybe it was 0.1, maybe it was 0.2. One of those two. I'll let your imaginations run. So anyway, 5.7, I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got a 5.7, which is an okay scale rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a C+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.